Welcome to the Journey of Joy with Anjali Verma. We have a very special guest here. She's an international rhythmic gymnast and represented India at World Championship, World Cup and Commonwealth Games. She is also a Chhatrapati Awardee, which is the highest state award in India. She is currently the only highest category judge in India. She is the first judge to get the category 2 score and has judged 20 international tournaments, owning 2 academies in Mumbai and Pune with total 200 plus students. She has created many champions in India. So let's welcome Akshata Shete Jadhav.
Hi Anjali, thank you for having me here. I have always a lot to tell about my field because very rarely do people know about rhythmic gymnastics. So my journey started at the age of 5. And my parents just put me into this sport as a recreational activity, just a fitness. Instead of going down and playing with the other kids, just go and do something productive. And that's how the journey started. And I played my competitions, then training hours increased. I played at the nationals, I represented India. Then I got into judging and then I got into coaching, and the journey is just going on.
So you always wanted to become a gymnast, or I don't know, I mean, when you say that you have to start a career into gymnast, I think when you started at a very young age, as you have said, people, I mean kids, they usually, I did not knew what is gymnast when I was very, very young. So how did you get into it?
So as a kid, I was not very keen on physical activities. I get a lot of, I have a lot of creativity, which I get it from my mother. I was very good at art. But my parents, like my father was into sports. He's been a wrestler and a kabaddi player.
Alright, so you never wanted to become a sports person?
I hated physical activity.
Alright.
I just love sitting in one corner and doing my coloring and drawing. And I just love doing that. But my father always wanted, he used to see these other kids playing around and he's like, Meri bachchi kyun nahi ja rahi hai?
Right.
And that's how the journey started. Like my father just pushed me one day. He's like, no, you're going there.
Okay.
I used to come back home running. He used to again take me back into the class because it was just in my premises.
Okay, so you did not like the classes also. That's what you want to say?
Never. I don't think any kid just likes physical abuse, like body. I don't think people just enjoy doing gym and extra exercise until and unless you see good results on your body.
Right. So people usually tell you that don't go for gymming and all till the time you're not 18 and you're not 21. That's what I have heard, right? This is what we spoke.
Yeah.
So how about gymnastics? I mean, that is something which is related to workouts, or how is it? Because I have a very bad knowledge about it, so it's always better if it comes from somebody who is very good at it and who is experienced into it.
So gymnastics basically has 5 types. There's artistic gymnastics, rhythmic gymnastics, acrobatics, aerobics, trampoline tumbling.
All right.
So artistics is what people usually know what Deepa Karmakar has done. Somersaults, vaulting table, uneven bars. Rhythmic is completely opposite. It's an only women-oriented sport. It's an Olympic sport.
Right.
And it requires a lot of lean and long muscles.
Okay.
So if you see, rhythmic gymnastics has a ballet base and it's specially meant for girls. So you'll see long limbs and tall, beautiful girls doing amazing elements, which is just unimaginable.
Right. All right. So, have you faced any challenges while doing gymnastics or while you were at the competition? Have you faced any kind of challenges during that time?
So the challenge in this sport actually started from the very beginning.
Okay.
When I started gymnastics, I started with artistic gymnastics.
Okay.
Rhythmic gymnastics was nowhere in the picture.
All right.
It didn't exist in India that much.
Okay.
And then gradually after like couple of years, say 4-5 years, my coach just heard about this sport and then she saw a couple of videos on YouTube and she just thought that, you know, she should push me into that because I was really good at dance.
Okay.
So that's how she shifted me to rhythmic gymnastics.
Right.
And then again the journey started with like the most difficult part was we didn't know how to learn that sport. So we had to read books, we had to watch videos.
Right.
My coach used to travel with the Indian artistic team and that is where she used to watch these other rhythmic gymnasts train. So she used to record videos and get them here and then we used to experiment. It was literally an experimental sport for us.
Okay.
So things which today I can teach a student in say 4-5 years, I have taken, I think I'm still learning that skill.
Okay. All right. So, with this, I think you must be having some memorable moments also with you. So, would you like to share that with us?
I don't have one, I have a couple of them. Starting with first time was when I won my first medal at the age of 6.
Okay.
And then
great.
it was when I got selected in the national team. Then it was when I got the state award. Then next one was when I got selected in the Indian team.
Okay.
And then then became a captain of the Indian team. Then this was the only journey I had ever imagined.
Okay.
The athlete's journey is you compete and then you retire. What do you do after that? Then I heard of judging. I used to see my coaches go for competitions for judging. That is how I started judging at a district and state level. Then I got to know there are exams which you give, district, state, national and international. Then from there, another surprise was I got the highest category in India, which nobody has ever got so far.
Akshata Shete Jadhav-An.
Then from that became the next journey was okay, now go for more international competitions, judge more competitions.
Right.
And then from that I got to know that oh, now I need to become a coach, because whatever struggles I had during my times,
Right.
I don't want the next generation to face.
Correct.
So I had to get all of that knowledge and I want to spread that knowledge, and I don't want any next athlete to face the difficulties that I faced.
Correct.
So
Right.
that's how it all started, and it's still going on.
That's superb to hear. Do you want to share any of your training schedule, how you have managed with it?
Okay, so initially it was pretty easy. When you're young, you're just in the early teens, where school and sports is easily manageable, where
Right.
you go in the morning and come back around 3:30, and then post that you have your extracurricular activities that you
Classes.
take.
Yes. Right.
That's a very easy journey.
Right.
The actual challenge starts when you get selected for, say, states or nationals, where the competition is so high that just 2 or 3 hours of training is never enough.
Okay.
So you have to double up your training hours, you have to increase the intensity of training. And then I had to take permissions from school in the morning, so I had to train 2 hours in the morning, go to school, come back home. There were no coffee dates with friends, there is no sleepovers, there's no movie plans with friends. It's just school, training, training and school.
That's.
I think every athlete goes through this balance of academics and sports.
Right. So when you were around doing your journey and your career with this, did you ever felt that you have to actually leave gymnastics and you want to become maybe somebody else, maybe a dancer or whatever field you wanted to choose when you were small? So ever it came to your mind while doing this career?
I think while I was in gymnastics, I never had this thought in mind because there was no time to think about it. And
So you were super packed.
super packed. There's
Right.
no time. Obviously, there were times when it actually tempts you to go out with friends, take a break.
Yeah, I mean,
Just come home,
yeah,
relax.
yes. Correct.
I don't think I've ever had that, because I constantly had my parents supporting me and pushing me like, no, you have a training session, you have to come home at this time or
Right.
else you're going to get late. So that's how the push was always there from my parents' side. That no, you've picked a goal, and that's how it's like a triangle. There's a coach, there's a gymnast, and there's a parent. It all works together. If one of the corners gone, it is a very difficult journey then.
Right. I think without all this effort, you cannot become what you are right now. So hats off to you for this. How do you balance the physical demands of gymnastics with your personal life? How do you manage it? Because I know that you're married, and it's been 3-4 years for you that you are married. So how do you manage with that?
So initially when I got into this field of coaching,
Yeah.
I started with just twice a week, thrice a week training sessions with students,
Okay.
because I was very new and I was very young.
Right.
Being a gymnast yourself and then is a different thing. It's like learning something, but you being able to teach that to somebody else is a completely new skill.
Right. Correct.
So it was kind of an experiment for me, starting at an early age. And initially I started with only recreational activity. I didn't focus on too much of competitions because I didn't know where I was going ahead with it. It's a new
Right.
thing. I didn't know if how long I was going to be a coach or how long I was going to continue a coaching career. So it was an experiment, and the minute I got married and I moved to Pune, it was a completely new challenge between two cities.
Correct.
And
yeah,
the culture in Pune and the culture in Mumbai is way different. Pune is slow, as everybody says. People need their afternoon breaks and naps.
Correct.
Mumbai is super fast. There's no break time. You just don't realize when time passes.
Right.
So Mumbai was a little slow sailing for me. But Pune, I knew I was going to be here for a longer time. And I knew my goals then. That is when I started my Pune Academy, and I have about, say, good number of 50 students in Pune.
That's great.
And Mumbai I have about 100 to 150 students.
Super.
So that's
Wow.
what's going on.
All right. So I think then in that case you have a busy schedule and you have been living with your personal and your professional life very well. So do you have any advice for these young athletes and their parents?
Oh, that's a completely new topic, I think. Today's generation's parents. Because my time, our parents were completely trustful to the coaches. They used to just leave the student on to the coach, like, Coach, aap jo bolo wo. You
Yeah.
just tell us, this is what we will do. But today's parents are too interfering and they are too goal oriented. They just want my kid should do this, my kid should do that, multiple activities.
So do they understand what is gymnastics, or they just have to tell you what has to be done and what not?
Now, thanks to a couple of gymnasts who've been to the Olympics and World Championships and Asian Championships where they won medals, gymnastics is no more called as a circus.
Right.
I remember people used to look at me and just say, "Oh, you're doing circus." So now people actually know what gymnastics is. So that's not a
Right.
big problem for us. And we do have a lot of parents putting their kids into gymnastics post-COVID, because it became a new thing that, kids fitness. There was
Right.
nothing more focused on kids fitness.
Right.
And gymnastics is known as a mother of all sports. So if you know gymnastics, you can excel in any other sport, even in your
Right.
academics. So that's how we've got a lot of parents pushing their kids into gymnastics. But competitive awareness is still lacking.
Right.
Academics is given so much of importance that until 7th and 8th standard, kids are coming regularly for training, and their aims are, I want to play for the nationals, I want to go at to the internationals.
Right.
But the minute they enter 9th or 10th standard, the peer pressure of parents, boards, then selection for college admissions, then 12th boards,
Right. So they forget the extracurricular.
there's no
activities.
balance. Then the balance is all academics, and then sport is just a
So you
part-time
think that
activity.
they should choose either of them, or they can take it along together?
No. Sports is something, and academics can go side by side. I remember
Okay.
my journey when I was in the 10th standard. I gave up my prelims because I was in the Indian camp. So it's something that sometimes you need to take a decision of what you are. If you've decided an aim or decided a goal, you have to make some sacrifices,
Correct.
but bring a balance at the same time. I do not recommend leaving academics and focusing on sports. It has to be balanced. You
Right.
need to study as well as you need to focus on your game.
Right.
So this is what I think, this is where the parent come into the picture. As a coach will excel that student in the particular field of the sport.
Right.
But academics is where something a parent needs a lot of support to be given to the gymnast.
Correct. So what
Managing
kind
the
of...
schedule and everything.
Okay. So now my question which arises is, what kind of students should opt for gymnastics?
So initially when your kid is young, it is good that you explore with a couple of activities.
Correct.
Because in gymnastics also we do not recommend a kid training for 5 days a week or 2-3 hours immediately. It starts with twice a week, 1 hour training sessions. Meanwhile, you can explore with other activities so you want to explore. Likewise, there are a lot of parents who want to explore new sport.
Correct.
It's like choosing commerce, arts and science in college.
Right.
I think we've all been through that. Our time, it was only these 3 fields.
Correct.
But today
आज
there
तो
are
बहुत अलग हो गया
so
है.
many fields that people want
Correct,
to
correct.
explore and try new things.
That's
Why
right.
the same घिसा पिटा art,
हाँ,
science,
वो तो
commerce?
है. Right.
Likewise in sport also there are so many new sports that have come up. They don't.
Correct.
People want to explore rather than hockey, cricket, football, or what else is there. that
And I
can put my
feel
kid into.
gymnastics is such a sports which is only here in big cities. That's what I feel. I don't know about the small cities, but I just feel that it should be only in the metro cities because people know about it thoda bahut.
Gymnastics
Otherwise तो
is
छोटी cities में I don't think it is there.
pretty. Gymnastics is pretty new. It's still developing, like I told you.
But you did it in 2010. I mean, it's
Yeah.
way back.
It was a struggle for me back then. Now it is not that much of a struggle because
Being from Bombay, still.
there are a lot of ex-athletes who have started opening up. People don't want
Right.
to do the 9 to 5 job anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So people want to put their
Ask
passion
me.
into work now.
Right.
It's just like academics. You do junior KG, 10 standard, graduation.
Correct.
That's almost 15 years of academics.
Right.
And then likewise, I will say even I've done gymnastics for 15 years of my life.
Right.
And then people after academics want to apply for jobs where it's again learning something new.
Right.
Why not I've learned my sport for 15 years. Why not put that into a career?
So gymnastics is only for 15 years or you can learn lifelong?
You can, the maximum I think the year cutoff is age of 24, 25.
Alright.
Because
Okay.
it takes a lot of physical fitness and planning required to become a gymnast. It's not that easy. But the
Right.
earlier you start, that is why gymnastics is started at an early age and the career stops at the age of 24, 25.
Right.
And then openings are like coaching, there's a lot of sports management events, there are tournaments that can be held,
Right.
and that's how the journey goes on.
Okay, so as we all know that you're now retired, you did something long back in 2010 and now you're just training your students in Bombay, in Pune. But then do you still have any goals in your life with regards to gymnastics or in your personal life?
Goal I have for India, I really wish to get medal for India by one of my students or say one of the other students who I created in other states.
Like how
also.
you have got so many medals?
Yeah, that's always that's like a dream of every coach.
Right.
A dream.
Correct.
It's like some coaches couldn't achieve something, so they see that journey or that goal through their students' eyes. That
Right.
vision into they want to put that vision into their students. So that is
Right.
what I want. I mean, I would definitely want to bring a medal for India because in rhythmic gymnastics, we don't have an international medal yet,
Right.
but we have gymnasts who can reach to that level.
Correct.
That is definitely one thing. And for myself, I really wish to go to the Olympics one day as a judge because India has never had an international judge in rhythmic gymnastics.
Right.
So that would be one of my dreams to go.
I think that's so wonderful listening to you, Akshata. Anything else which you want to share with regards to gymnastic career? I think we all would like to hear in maybe two-liners if you want to say.
At the early age, I think I've faced one struggle, and that struggle is still there somewhere in India. That where there's a coach, there's no infrastructure, and where there's infrastructure, there's no proper coach.
Right.
So today, where I am, we don't have a properly promising stadium or a infrastructure made just for rhythmic gymnastics.
Right.
So that is like I really wish to do something for my field, that I want to create a podium or a stadium just dedicated for gymnastics, that no gymnast in future have to look or for rented places, travel 45 minutes or 1 hour, 2 hours away to wherever outskirts where the place is held. So I just
Right.
want it available for any athlete who wishes to learn gymnastics.
Wow, that's so nice. It was wonderful listening to you, Akshata, and thank you so much for being here. We all are very, very proud of you, and I'm sure my daughter is going to come to you very, very soon. Keep going, keep getting and achieving your goals, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Akshata Shete Jadhav. I am an international rhythmic gymnast, judge, and a coach. Rhythmic gymnastics is a women-oriented Olympic recognized sport. This is a ballet-based sport, and in this sport we perform apparatus like hoop, ball, clubs, ribbon. We manipulate these apparatus along with our body elements. A gymnast performs 1 minute 30 seconds routine on floor of 14 by 14, and they perform each routine with these apparatus. Following my passion was not an easy task, definitely without the constant support of my parents. Initially, it was always my mother, father, my brother, and my uncle who have constantly extended their support towards my career. And after marriage, I have a very strong backing of my in-laws, and most of all, I would like to add my husband, for whom my goals are his goals. It's like 10 times more than my own goals. So I really appreciate all the support that I've always had with my family. And yeah, that's about it. That's me, a rhythmic gymnast.